So we put out a video at the end of March detailing the 10 things that Democrats tried to slip in to the last stimulus bill. It got a ton of traction, reached over 100,000 people, and we had almost 500 shares. And we had people writing into us thanking us because they were able to share this with their family members and friends who thought that Trump was wrong and that the Democrats were doing the right thing. We were able to open their eyes. So we wanted to put together another video because it's happening again. Democrats just blocked the Republican plan to add additional money to the small to medium business loan program. So basically, this was the stimulus program that passed 2 weeks ago. It's starting to run out of money. So Mitch McConnell introduced a unanimous consent resolution, which basically says, okay, we already voted to create this program. It needs more money. Let's just push more money in. And in order for a unanimous consent resolution to pass, it has to have no opposition, right? It has to have unanimous consent. It just takes one Democrat jumping up and saying, I object, to kill it. And that's exactly what happened.
Now, Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of the bill at the desk. I further ask that the bill be considered read a third time and passed, and the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Is there objection?
Reserving the right to object.
Senator from Maryland.
And of course,
thank you, Mr.
Senator
President.
Ben Cardin from Maryland.
Let me just clarify some of the issues that the majority leader pointed out. I'm afraid that this unanimous consent is basically a political stunt because it will not address the immediate need of small businesses.
So obviously it's a lie. You can't say that you're helping small businesses by blocking funding for small businesses. Now, this is how CNN originally covered that. They covered it accurately. Democrats blocked GOP-led funding boost. That was an accurate headline. But 39 minutes later, CNN changed the headline to Senate at stalemate over more COVID-19 aid after Republicans and Democrats block competing proposals. So we need to put this video together to show exactly why Democrats are blocking this aid from reaching small to medium businesses. And it's because they want to get their own pet projects funded. So this video is going to go through the top 10 Democrat pet projects that they want added to the stimulus bill, or the top 10 reasons that they're blocking the stimulus funding. Number 10 is pretty disgusting. It's they want to open the door for fetal tissue to be used to find a cure for COVID-19. Now, fetal tissue, as the name implies, comes from either unviable or aborted babies. It's disgusting. President Trump put a stop to this kind of medical research, but Democrats are now demanding that fetal tissue be allowed to be used to find a cure for COVID-19. They want to find the cure on the back of aborted babies. The next demand comes from Elizabeth Warren. This is from her op-ed. She's demanding that every state have at least 30 days of early voting. So instead of election day, they want to make it election month. And we know from the data that the more early voting there is, the more Democrats turn out. This is just a very naked attempt to increase Democrat turnout in elections. Number 8 also comes from Elizabeth Warren's plan. She wants to make mail-in voting legal nationwide. And we know from mail-in voting that there's rampant fraud, right? The voter rolls are not secure. They are not accurate. Plenty of people have passed away, have moved away, have committed felonies, become otherwise ineligible to vote, and they're still on the voter rolls. So if we were to send a ballot to every single household, a lot of people would be getting extra ballots, and then it's up to them to, I guess, turn them into authorities, or, as many of them tend to do, turn them in as cast ballots. So very, very dangerous. Number 7 is the Democrats want environmental regulations to be passed. They want to use COVID-19 as an excuse to push their environmental agenda through. Now, this is a clip of Joe Biden saying just that.
We have an opportunity, Chris, to do so many things now to change some of the structural things that are wrong, some of the structural things we couldn't get anybody's attention on. In a sense, no pun intended, the Band-Aid's been ripped off here. Everybody now understands that we have a voting system that is not transparent and clear.
Wow.
And available for everyone. Everyone understands that the environment has impacted on this coronavirus and mounting evidence of that. Everyone understands that we have to lead the world. We can't just sit back because no one else will.
So Joe Biden's saying that we have to use this opportunity. Democrats have to use this opportunity to get their agenda items through. He talks about what we just talked about, the election changes, but he also says that we need to pass environmental regulations. And he says that there's now data suggesting that COVID-19 was spread because of global warming or climate change. Ridiculous, but they're trying to use this as an opportunity to push through their bigger agenda. The next item on the list is number 6, which is that they want to make sure that illegal aliens, undocumented immigrants are eligible to receive stimulus funds. Right now, they're not because, hey, they're not Americans, but they want to give illegal aliens $1,200 checks, apparently. The next on the list, number 5, is that they want to bail out the post office. The post office is asking for $75 billion in bailout funds from Congress for this next round of stimulus, which is ridiculous. Democrats tried to include a post office bailout in the last bill, but it was actually pulled out by Trump himself. He said, no, that has nothing to do with COVID-19. You can't do that. The next on the list, number 4, is Democrats want to increase broadband internet access for low-income Americans. This is kind of an expansion of the Obama Phone program. The Obama Phone program gave low-income Americans access to cell phone plans. Now, these Democrats, and actually even a couple Republicans, want to use this as an opportunity to push this agenda item across the finish line and basically give subsidized or free high-speed internet to low-income families. Again, has nothing to do with COVID-19. Number 3 is that Democrats want to pay hazard pay for people who are actually working during all of this. Now, I don't disagree that the people who are working, the healthcare workers, the first responders, they're absolutely heroes. They're going right into the hot spots, risking exposure themselves, all to help other Americans. But right now, instead of trying to give them a bonus, how about we save American businesses and save American lives? Because every day that goes by without additional funding being added to the PPP program puts us at more risk that businesses will close and Americans will be added to the unemployment rolls. So while it's a very noble gesture to give a bonus to people who are on the front lines of all this, we need to make sure that we have the maximum impact. We need to save American jobs before we start giving people bonuses. Now, number 2, this is one of the big reasons, is that Democrats don't believe the money should go towards businesses and Americans. They want to send the money to hospitals and the states. They believe that that is better suited to respond to the economic fallout. So they want $150 billion for states and local governments, and if Republicans don't agree to give them that, they're going to block the $250 billion from going to the small and medium businesses, which is pretty shameful because hospitals and states and localities already received a lot of stimulus funding in the last round of bills. Now, number 1 is the most ridiculous of all. Number 1 is Nancy Pelosi doesn't believe they should pass what Mitch McConnell put through because she says there is not enough data proving that small businesses need help. I'm not kidding. That's what she said.
This morning, Leader McConnell honored that request. I say honored, really, dishonored the needs that we have with a stunt on the floor of the Senate requesting that $250 billion. No data as to why we need it and the rest when there are outstanding needs.
So she's claiming that there's not enough data to prove that small businesses need help. I don't know, Nancy Pelosi. Why don't you look around, see the businesses closing, look at the unemployment data, see people being added to the unemployment rolls. That really should be all the data you need to prove that American businesses need help. But unfortunately, Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats, they have a lot of other things on their plate that they want to prioritize instead of that. So if you like this video, please make sure that you give it a like, comment, and share it. It really helps. We want to get this out in front of as many people as possible because as we showed with CNN, with the CNN lies, the mainstream media is not covering this correctly. They're trying to blame Republicans for the fact that this latest stimulus bill didn't go through instead of placing the blame where it belongs, which is on Democrats.